Hey, welcome back to Off-Road Stuff. Today, if you can't tell, we got a little project going on ahead of us. We're gonna bump up to the 4-inch rough country lift kit. We got drive shafts, we got extended brake lines, we got drop pitman arms, sway bar disconnect units. Hopefully this is going to work a lot better than the one that I have on there right now. Coil springs, and then hopefully some instructions that'll help us out. Well, there's some pictures in here, and if not, we'll go back to YouTube. Maybe we'll make a video on how to do this, and then I could go back and watch the video. That way I figure out how to do this. What do you guys think? So, if you guys remember, I've got what's been almost 2 years now, I want to say, something like that. We put the 2-inch lift on here, and it did pretty good for what it was. Actually, it flexed really good. I was really surprised a lot of people too. But as we started doing some modifications, bumpers, winches, supplies, all that kind of stuff in here, all this recovery gear, man, I got this thing loaded down with some Freedom Ropes recovery gear like you wouldn't believe. So I think we've took that 2-inch lift, and now we've probably bumped it down to about 1 inch or 1.25 inches, just from the extra weight and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bump this up to a 4-inch. I did order the long arm kit for this, but it's on back order right now. So hopefully, I think they said about another 3 weeks I should have it. When that gets here, we'll do that too. But anyways, I'm going to run around with the tape measure real quick. I'm going to get some measurements, and that way we have something to compare to when we're all done. All right. So the front bumper is basically right at 22.25, I'm going to call that. And that's right in the center of the metal on the bumper. All right, so we're going to call this back. We're at the rear bumper and call that 25.5-ish. Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to have to do is let's get the the track bar out of the way. Alright, we got that out of the way. And there's one more on the other side. I gotta grab a wrench though. Now we gotta pull the sway bar links, and now that we have our fancy quick disconnects, these are kind of a pain. These ones aren't from Rough Country. These I think are the, was it JKS I think brand or something like that. They function fine, but trying to get them on and off is not the easiest. So I think we're gonna try, we're gonna try the different style from Rough Country. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take this all the way off. I think the next thing is we're gonna take the shocks off. Oh, and make sure you put a jack or something underneath this axle, because if not, this thing will spring out and fall basically for the most part. I guess it still had a little spring on it. All right, now the lower. Oh, so if you guys are wondering, this top is a 14 millimeter wrench. There we go. So now we should be able to get the coils out. This side is a little bit harder because right now the drive line is flexed out and it's hitting the little skid plate right there. So I'm going to put a block on that side. Well, actually that's not going to help us. I think I'm going to pull that little skid plate off right over here. That way it'll allow this side to drop down a little more and this will come out. The passenger side just basically plopped right out. So give me a minute. I'm going to pull that guy off. All right, so there's still one bolt. There's a little tab that goes back closer to the actual cross member. And I don't know if you guys could see that from where you were at, but let me just back this out. There we go. This thing just dropped down just enough that now this coil's loose. And if you pick it up like that, she'll come out. There's a little rubber isolator thing. Just make sure it stays in there. And just for grins, let's look at these in comparison. So we got, there's the new one and the old one. So we got about, I don't know, it's showing, you guys falling. But yeah, there's about 2 inches in there. So that would equate to 4 inches on the stock kit. All right, I'm going to show you guys something. So if you guys are curious about doing this lift, or if you've already bought it and are curious, so far this is the only thing that I've found that's like a good heads up. So this is where the factory bolt goes through, and it's just a regular round bolt. Well, you see these little lines right here, and then there's another set over here. So you got to basically knock these out, because this bolt, it's got a flat spot on it. And then with these washers, they go in here, and this is kind of how you adjust the front end. So when you turn this like this, it's going to push the front axle in or out to change your pinion angle for your driveline and geometry and all that stuff. So they say you can do it with a Loretta. Jeez, dogs. They say something like you could use a chisel. I don't know. Or like you could probably use a really small angle, not an angle grinder, but like a 90-degree die grinder with a small wheel. Like you can get them with the little 2-inch wheels, little cutoff wheels, like a Dremel maybe even. You're going to go through a lot of disc if you do that. But what I found that works is basically like a small, let me back up, there we go. It's like a small Sawzall, mainly because of your clearance in here, and just a real fine blade. And so far I did the other side already over there with one blade. So you just cut it back to the corner right here, and then if you smack it with like a punch or a chisel or maybe even a big screwdriver, it'll fold over. The little tab will fold over, and then it'll just shear off on this side right here. So you only have to cut it here and here, and then that tab will break over. Alright, so I just cut through that like I was just telling you. I'm going to see if I could knock this thing out. There's not a lot of room, and then trying to get you all in here so you can see what the heck's going on. I wonder if I might be able to do it from the back side. Might help. Easier. Oh. There it goes. Alright. So, you guys get the gist of it. So far, that's the hardest excuse me, thing that I've had to deal with as far as possibly needing any kind of specialty-ish tools and any hard modifications so far. Well, we got that lower bolt in there, the eccentric or cam or whatever you want to call it, the one that'll adjust the front end here. So now make sure that your little isolator stays in here. Put the top in first. Alright, looks like we gotta come down a little bit more on this side to get this in. Just make sure you keep an eye on your brake lines and stuff over here so they don't get too tight. Alright, we gotta. There we go. And those springs have a little, oh yeah. So right here, see that little dimple right there? Just rotate that around so that the end of your coil lines up with that little dimple right there. Alright, well, it's time to change the pitman arm. So the instructions tell you to take this nut off the tie rod end that goes to the pitman arm, excuse me. I got it loose. I just don't like banging on these to break them loose. I've seen, I don't know if it was a coincidence, but the gearbox ended up having some issues and leaking and whatnot. So I think what I want to do is try to take the pitman arm off the gearbox and then separate that tie rod end separately. Alright, cross your fingers. Oh! We better go buy us a lottery ticket, because that almost never works. Alright, just to show y'all what I was using right there, just that setup. And yes, that says Icon, so if you guys ever doubt Harbor Freight, they've definitely come a long ways. Now we got to put the shock extension relocation bracket. It just moves it out a little bit. So you got this smaller bolt, I think it's 5/8, and it goes through this hole in the back right here. Right, so there's another bolt, and it has this big washer. It goes on top where basically like when you were taking the shock out, this goes up on top. Alright, so I fought with this for a second, so I thought it might be worth mentioning. So when you put these shocks in, these little rubber grommets up here, there is like almost no thread showing on the top of that washer to get the nut started. So I had to get creative with some tie straps, ratchet straps, to basically shove the shock body up to compress this bushing just enough that I can barely get it started. And then once you get a couple turns on it, then it's all good. You can take everything off. So yeah, you might have to get a little creative with that. Alright, so believe it or not, I've actually been kind of sifting through the constructions while I've been doing this, mainly just to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself and have to undo something. And because sometimes it looks like, oh, we'll just do this, it's right here. Well, there's a reason why you have to do it in a certain procedure so that you don't have to take it off to do a step later. Anyways, so we're putting the track bar bracket on the extension so it raises it up. You reuse the original one. There's a sleeve, a crush sleeve that goes in there. So I just got it finger tight right now. Then there's a U-bolt that goes around the axle. I'll have to sift through all this here, but there's two here, and then there's a hole up here. I believe you have to drill it and then put a it's a through bolt and a nut. I think it's a 3/8 bolt. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe 5/16. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna get rocking and rolling on that, and if I find anything worth noting, I will let you guys know. All right. So I did confirm drill a 3/8 hole. Now my wrench is stuck. Alright. When you do that, use an open-ended wrench. Alright. So you can see that's the one right there that we just drilled. Alright, so we got the track bar in right here. Now we got to go put it in the other side. Holy cow. She's tight. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Well, I guess we could just adjust the track bar so we can get it hooked up, and then once we set it down, then we'll readjust it. Puta Maggie, this little ratchet strap's about as tight as a banjo string right now. Alright, well, it's officially dark 30, and we kicked on a little extra lights here. Oh, excuse me. So basically the front end is together. The only thing I didn't get done on the front end is the longer brake lines and swapping out the drive shaft. So I think we're going to call it for a night. We can go in, clean up, go in, have some dinner, relax, and we'll get back at this in the morning. So get some coffee going. We'll see you guys in the morning.